be pretty much out of the running. That's a really disastrous early out for them, and it might just ruin their chances.
Misfits going to look for the farm location up towards the northern side of the circle, blinded by Win currently in the gas station just south of water treatment. And it looks like Space Station Gaming are pushing in towards where Wildcard are holding in Hacienda del Patron. Still, these outskirt fights proving difficult. TJ managed to do a lot of work. He's basically eliminated 2 teams for Are You Scared, but we'll go down to VN1 there. We're starting to see a bit of stabilization here, John. Does HQA have only 1 member alive? Yifei looks like, potentially.
I believe they do. Well, we've seen what he can do before on his own. We'll see if he's able to repeat that performance. At the moment, they need a really, really strong finish if they want to be coming in with it. Misfits take a knock. It's going to be Space Station Gaming to do the work as well. Not too sure you're going to be able to crawl past that one. They're in the sight lines, and they aren't going to be able to continue in there. 10 teams now remain.
Yeah, Misfits are just caught on the edge of the circle here. Didn't want to risk pushing into the farm buildings there because they expected that other teams have already occupied them. And now we look towards Hacienda del Patron to finish off this game. It's a difficult terrain to play around. All the teams from San Martin are going to have to come down the hill and into the opening hands of Lights Out, Pittsburgh Knights, and HQA can hold them out. Space Station Gaming going to have to fight for Wildcard's position in the mansion. And it looks like Granja are even moving down into the craters just north of the Hacienda del Patron mansion.
HQA, Yifei has just bunkered down. He's into the next circle. The frag going to fly out. It's a little bit overcooked there, so it's not going to hit over onto Space Station Gaming. With 3 of their members alive, though, they just need to survive. That is the name of the game for them right now. But you've got other teams, blinded by Win, who need to move a little bit south. They need to leave the safety of that ridge line. Well. You've got Misfits who need to go in as well. Everybody is going to start to be pressured in by this 5th phase circle.
Wow, that was such a good little jump into the vehicle there by Xenov. Going about 20 kilometers per hour, but he just jumps on in. Stylish stuff coming through, and you need to make these quick rotations as Misfits are going to crash into Granja in just a second here. Really difficult for all these teams on the northern side. Misfits are eliminated by Granja there, just completely sprayed down.
That's disastrous.
Disastrous for Misfits, out in 10th position. They are having a very, very difficult day 2 here in the regional finals, and it just opens up more shots for teams like Blinded by Win, for Pittsburgh Knights to move into the top dog spots here.
And a team that we haven't really been talking about this match so far, Lights Out. They are holding on. They are doing very, very well. They have 3 of their players remaining. They have the western side of the circle. They're near Yifei. They're challenging out VN1 at this stage. And they have a decent shout to move on forwards. But Space Station Gaming as well, they are now in towards a zone position. They are outside of the mansion, outside of the Hacienda, which is where Wildcard have a massive advantage. They have been playing it so well. They have an Orm in their hands. By this point, I think they might have managed to actually run down the ammo that you get with it, because you only get 15 rounds in that care package drop that goes with it. It fires custom cartridges, so it's not an ammo type that you can just pick up naturally. So they might have had to swap away from that already.
Blinded by Win, getting sprayed down by Are You Scared on that northern side of the circle. Very different terrain to play. The hill is not really working out for them. Lights Out in a bit of a crater just in the center of the circle for now. Working out for them as the Pittsburgh Knights currently hold on the southern side. You can see Granja firing more shots over towards the Blinded by Win squad, and Blinded by Win currently sitting in 2nd place on the leaderboard, needs a better performance if they want to continue to hold on to that. We get a new circle shifting over towards Lights Out here, constantly holding on to the circle. Lucifer currently inside of it, but Seagut and Memo will have to move into it. A very difficult task where you have VN1 and PK, Pittsburgh Knights, holding on to you. This siege of Hacienda continues as Juicy almost loses his head to Ranger, but not quite able to land those shots. Rain coming in. No, they do so. Wildcard looking to wipe out Space Station Gaming. Sixless just trying to make a bold run on the buggy. Sprayed down by... Who was that? That was Grandpa from No Man's Land taking fires over, third-partying that fight. Sixless just about survives for now.
How on earth did he stay alive? But this is the name of the game now. Just do not take any fights. You can see he's managed to heal himself up. He's over near towards Granja. But this is the time for Blinded by Win to start to shine. They can start to move on forwards. They can take these fights now over towards Are You Scared? But they get eliminated.
They get eliminated.
They got taken down by Are You Scared over on the northern side.
Wow, that's huge. That's Blinded by Win going out in 9th position.
Lights Out now in with a chance of moving on up and leapfrogging on through. Pittsburgh Knights still in there as well. This is their chance. So we're looking at Lights Out, we're looking at Pittsburgh Knights, and we're looking at Sixless from Space Station Gaming.
Yeah, 9th position gives you 7 points, plus the kill points that Blinded by Wind would have had there. It's still possible for Pittsburgh Knights and HQA with a chicken dinner here to really push on in towards 3rd or 4th, but they'll have to put up the stops. It's going to be Lights Out in the center circle, holding on out, and Are You Scared get eliminated in 7th position.
That's HQA down as well, I believe. Yifei falls. They are going to go down in 7th. Wildcard, they've had to move away from the mansion, and they do make that western rotation. They're doing pretty well on it as well. They've already managed to find a little bit of a foothold. Pittsburgh Knights over on the western side, and Lights Out a little bit, sorry, Pittsburgh Knights on the south, Lights Out over on that western side. Sixless still alive.
Yeah, Sixless, the solo player currently for Space Station Gaming, but we've seen how solo players can influence the standings here. Pittsburgh Knights on the south, stopping Wildcard from rotating into the circle, and they need to move in. It's almost pushing in on them here. Granha holding the north, Lights Out holding the south. VN1 going to have to move in just a second as well. Can Wildcard get in is the real question, as Sixless has oversight in Pittsburgh Knights as well, basically preventing the Hacienda del Patron squad from entering into the circle.
Lights Out, edge guarding against VN1, and it's going to be such a difficult run. They aren't going to be able to make it. Lights Out go down, and as they hit the 5th position, this is where Sixless has made the work happen for Space Station Gaming. They are already pretty happy with this point.
They do. Okay, they just found him out. I was about to say, I didn't think that anyone knew that Sixless was there, but Granha is able to find the shots and eliminates him. Down to 4 teams here as Wildcard tries to knock Pittsburgh Knights out, but they're not able to do that. Space Station Gaming losing their lives as well. Down to 3. It's Lights Out, Pittsburgh Knights, and Granha holding on here. This is huge for Pittsburgh Knights and their ability to jump on into the top 3 here with a chicken dinner, John. They could possibly do so.
They're looking for it. They have the most players. They've got 8 kills already, but Granha with an uncharacteristically strong performance. 12 kills already coming through for them. So a decent shout. 4 players alive for them as well. They've got a decent spot as well. The terrain in front of them is pretty barren at this stage, though. The Pittsburgh Knights have a little bit more to work with.
Lots of smokes, though.
They've got a lot of smokes to be working with. You can see that line of smokes just starting to develop. That is going to cover any sort of rotation they want to make around to that western side as the next circle does pop over towards Lights Out. This means that they can just hold down the shack that they have and see what they can do with it.
And currently Lights Out are being held on back by Granha, allowing Pittsburgh Knights to move on in. That's the knocks coming through from Granha, knocking Lights Out. Granha now have to move into the circle towards Pittsburgh, who've made the early rotation. Pittsburgh Knights with 4 members alive versus the 3 of Granha del Gaming. It's a possibility for the Pittsburgh Knights to make the big leap up the scoreboard.
Oh, he sees it.
Sorry, gets caught out by Monarch, and that's going to be the flush coming through just shortly by him. Only 2 more players
1v4.
left for Granha. A 1v4, in fact, as another kill comes through. Jacob for Granha del Gaming, trying to push it all through. I mean, honestly, at this stage of the game, John, you might just run into the blue and deny any points to Pittsburgh Gaming. Very difficult to make the 1v4, but no, Jacob's no slouch. Finds the first knock. Gets spotted by 7 and Jagger.
Only 1 first aid.
On the north. The first aid's going to come through, trying to reset the fight, going to spot Jagger coming out of the smoke in just a second. It has a good angle to take him down. There's no way to double peek it, no way to trade the kill. If he gets the spray onto Jagger, the res is actually coming through.
He's not on the circle.
Not on the circle, he has to move in. This should just be Pittsburgh Knights claiming it. And that's going to be it. There's the kills coming through, and that's a huge performance coming out of Pittsburgh Knights.